Okay guys, so kahapon may nag-message sa akin and sabi niya, "Hi Marlu, would be interested to see a blog on being a landlord, do's and don't, non-payment, etc. blacklisted tenants. Thanks." So, syempre, for this blog, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna answer her question and I'm gonna tell you guys 1000% how I feel about being a landlord and my advice to any of you guys who wants to be a landlord. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so first things first, how do I feel about being a landlord? Like I said, I'll be 100% honest to you guys kung ano yung nararamdaman ko as a landlord. Number 1, I don't like it. Number 2, it's a lot of work. Number 3, it's a long-term game. So, going back to number 1, why do I not like being a landlord? Kasi madaming stress. It involves being a landlord and the cash flow isn't as big as everyone say, unless you have hundreds and thousands of doors, then yeah, the cash flow becomes real. Pero kung you have 1 or 2 properties, it's not real. Cash flow, you're not gonna live off that cash flow. And number 2, like I said, there's a lot of headache kasi once you have a bad tenant, then that's where it starts. Once you have a bad tenant, that's where everything starts. That's when the headache starts. That's what's ruined the rental game. So, I'd advise to you guys, whoever starting out and wants to be a landlord, kasi as like me, nung nag-start ako, I became a landlord and that's when I found out na ayaw ko maging landlord. And if you've been watching my content, meron ako isang content na when I went to one of my fourplex, they ruined one of the unit and they've been there for a year and a half. It's actually my video, so if you go Landlord Nightmare, I think that's the title of that video, you'll see what the unit looks like. So going back, as I said, kung nag-i-start out kayo, I wouldn't advise you guys to become a landlord first. I know everybody starts in real estate most of the time becoming a landlord kasi they watch a video where they said if you own a rental property, you'll become a millionaire. Yes and no, and you can quit your job. I will tell you that it's not real. What I would advise to you guys is learning a high income skill before you start becoming a landlord, okay? And number 3, like I said, it's a long-term game. You have to be willing, you just have to stay in the game. Having said that, it's going to be 10, 20, 30 years. That's when you're gonna see the big returns. So I hope that answered you guys that part of it, why I hate being a landlord. So, do's being a landlord. Number 1, you have to screen your tenants properly. Like I said kanina, tenants will ruin the landlord game and the rental game. And number 2, have a clear lease agreement. Make sure everything is written, rent, due date, late fees, and maintenance rule. And number 3, document everything from moving in, inspection photos, to communication via text or email. It protects you legally, okay? Number 4, know the local landlord tenants law. So whether you're in Canada or in the States, there are laws vary per province or state. So make sure to do your research on landlord tenants law. And number 5, treat it like a business. Stay professional, keep emotion out, and always think long-term cash flow. So keep emotion out, meaning if you rent it to your family or if you rent it to somebody, they're always late for their rent and you feel sorry for them that something goes wrong with their life, you cannot make that a habit. Maybe once, twice, that's it. Because pag palagi mo silang pinagbibigyan, they will just take advantage of. So that's the 5 do's of being a landlord. Okay, so 5 don'ts of being a landlord. Number 1, don't rent without a lease. So verbal agreement equals bad idea. Always get in writing. Number 2, don't ignore maintenance. Small issues grow fast. Delays can make tenants withhold rent or file claims. Number 3, don't let rent slide. See? Being too nice can lead to habitual late payments or non-payment. Number 4, don't discriminate. Fair housing rules are strict. Always judge based on financial and rental history. Number 5, don't get too friendly. It's okay to be respectful, but keep it professional to avoid being taken advantage of. You see, guys? So number 3, 3, don't let rent slide. And being too nice can lead you to habitual late payments or no payments. Guys, I've been there, and I carry mortgage or rent payment for 6 months, and it's a nightmare. Okay, so that's the don'ts. All right, handling non-payment. Here's what you can do. Number 1, send a formal notice immediately. So when they are late in payment, or they don't want to pay, give the notice right away. Depending on where you are, it's usually 3 to 14 days notice to pay or vacate. Number 2, set late fee policy upfront and enforce it. This builds consistency and expectation. So kung late na sila agad, sabihin nyo na agad sa kanila. Whether it's 2 days late, you have to pay rent. Okay, don't let them slide. Number 3, offer payment plan, and this is case by case. Okay, so if something happens to the tenant and they had to use their money somewhere else, and if your tenant is nice and respectful for your house, and for example it only happened once out of their 5 years staying there, then yes, you could let them slide for that month. And if, like I said, case by case, if you want to set up a payment plan, it would be okay for those kind of tenants if they've been there for a long time. I hope that makes sense. And then number 4, know when to file for eviction. Don't delay too long and you'll be months behind in rent and bills. So like I said earlier, pag meron na kayong tenant na hindi nagbayad within a month, start filing eviction. Kasi after a month, for sure the second month they will not pay. And here in Winnipeg, in Manitoba, it takes 90 days to get them out. So if you delayed filing an eviction after a month or 2, guess what? They have 90 days more to stay there for free if they want. So file it right away. And number 5, avoid cash deals and verbal promises. Always get agreements in writing with signatures. That's very important kasi this is a business and people always change their words once they're in the tough situation. So everything has to be written, and it just protects you as a landlord. Blacklisted tenants. Warning sign. Here's my tip. Number 1, eviction history shows up on reports or if they avoid answering eviction related questions. So when you guys are interviewing your tenants, you guys have to do your research about this tenant and see if there's bad reports about them. And like I said, if they avoid those kind of question about eviction, then it's a red flag. Number 2, bad landlord reference. If a past landlord is hesitant and say it's complicated, it's a red flag as well. So what we do, we call my property manager, they call the previous landlord. I always ask them, go call the previous landlord or take a picture of their unit, because we want to know if their unit is actually nice, so then we know they're treating that unit good. And if they want to move to our unit, hopefully they do the same. Number 3, income instability. If they can't provide constant income, expect inconsistent rent. So if you guys have tenants that are applying in your unit and they cannot show a proof of their income, red flag. Number 4, too eager and too pushy to move in. And this is where you guys have to stay calm and not be emotional when the tenants wants the unit so badly. That's a red flag, because sometimes they're rushing because they've been evicted somewhere else. Number 5, incomplete application. Leaving out employers' prior addresses or contact info is usually intentional. So those are the red flags. So how do you find those blacklisted tenants? In Winnipeg, the way we find those blacklisted tenants, we would join those group of landlords, because some of the landlords, they would put the bad tenants or their bad tenants on the page, and they would say, hey, don't rent it to Nick whatever, he's been in my unit and he trashed it. So those kind of groups will help you see who are the bad or blacklisted tenants that you shouldn't rent your property. So there you guys have it. That's my do and don'ts, and what would I do if a non-payment tenants come to my unit. So like I said, I advise you guys to do or find a high income skill first before you start owning rental properties. I've told this many times on my content now. I'll give you guys an example, okay? Let's say you have even just 5 rental properties and you're still working at your 9 to 5, which is okay, right? You're still working at 9 to 5, you have 5 rental properties. That's more than an average person, which is great for you. But the thing is, if you have 5 rental properties and let's pretend all of them stop paying rent. Guys, just imagine that. 5 of your rental properties and 5 of your tenants stop paying rents. Imagine how much you have to put for just 1 month just to pay up your mortgage. And also, what if the roof start leaking to all of them? Now you're gonna be bankrupt. 100% you're gonna be bankrupt. And this is why a high income skills is important before you start earning rental properties, because of that scenario, because those are the what ifs, and people quit the rental game because of those reasons. I almost quit after 3 months of owning my first rental property. Trust me guys, I almost quit, but I found a way na hindi maquit, and I pushed through it. And like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today if that issue never happened to me in the beginning. But I'm actually grateful for it, because I found a way out of becoming a landlord, because I figured out early na landlord game is not for me. And I have property managers that takes care of my property, and hindi ako umaasa doon sa rent ng properties ko, and I don't use those rent for my personal use. I don't use them. It's set aside whenever there's something wrong or something goes wrong. If one tenant leaves, then I could use that money to cover my expenses. But other than that, I don't touch it. I don't look at it. It's just there sitting, and like I said, whenever I need it, it goes back to the property. That's how it's supposed to be. And this is why I'm gonna repeat it again. A high income skill is very important, because you need to have savings. So then if the what ifs happens to your rental, that's where the savings comes and save you. And then hopefully you find a great tenant that stays in your property for 10 plus years, because if that tenant stay there for 10 plus years and you don't have a problem, for example, going back to those 5 rental properties, if all of those tenants, the 5 tenants that you put inside those 5 rentals, never had any issue, never had any complaints, never broke, or they actually fix whatever goes wrong inside the house, you have a great tenant, and they paid off most of your debt. And when it's time to sell, that's when you kind of cash out big. So I hope that this helped you guys, and I hope I answered you guys' question. Again, don't hesitate to message me and ask me question about real estate, about landlord, about flipping, about wholesaling. I'm here to help. I hope this gives you guys value today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.